They say marriage ain't dead. Men and women are just scared. Scared of what? What if I told you that I can tell you exactly what many of us are afraid of? Many of us are afraid of becoming someone that we do not recognize in the mirror or do not recognize from an emotional or a feelings perspective. Marriage does just that. The situation in place puts you in front of, someone else's well-being, consideration for their feelings. Also, not just that, but the family itself and the livelihood and that legacy going forward. All of that lies and falls on both of your shoulders. In order to preserve that, in order to create a great foundation for that, to make this the best it can be, you have to be a different person than you are right now. Because the person that you are right now has gotten you only this far with the intent of only taking care of you. You know what I'm saying? But now you got somebody else to take in consideration. There are a lot of people that are not ready for that. But that's okay. So I wanted to create a space where we can pretty much talk about different reasons why many of us are just simply not ready or even wanting to get married. I bring to you today, marriage ain't for me. Now the conversation is gonna get deep. The conversation is gonna be free-hearted as well, because it's a safe space to where you don't have anyone judging you because of the fact that you're not out there chasing and yearning for that which everyone, including pop culture, including the records, including the media, TV, books, everything is trying to funnel you towards holy matrimony. I don't care how old you is, 18, 25, whatever. You're at a point where this is being forced upon you. But why? Nobody really asks why. But if marriage ain't for you, welcome to this safe space.
What an alpha female is.
An alpha female is extremely independent, successful, career-driven, goal-oriented, very matter-of-fact about the way she handles things. She doesn't really look for help. She likes validation from her education and her status, what she has and who she is, which is kind of similar to what men do too. It's their status, it's their education, their success. And so those women pride themselves on that. Those women still want alpha men though. And that's where the disconnect is. They're still seeking to be with an alpha man, but if the man knows who he is, some of those things are gonna rub him the wrong way.
There's gonna be very few that can fill that void, that will prevent that clash. You will have to walk on eggshells in order to prevent that clash. And when that clash does happen, it's not always going to be pretty, because the reaction, man, it's going to depend on where each of you are in your emotional state. So in actuality, as this person that's in that space of being an alpha male or an alpha female, why even try to get married? Ask yourself that question. Why walk down that road or walk through that door? You know the clash is going to be there. but you do nothing to prepare for it, because the person that you are is who you want to be. And if the person that you are is who you want to be, then change is going to be very scary, as I discussed. So in this case, you would be the exact candidate that needs to stay away. Stay away from holy matrimony, right? Stick to dating, stick to having a great time, stick to your success, stick to that which validates you and makes you feel whole, unless that ain't what it do. But I'm going to take what you say, or we all need to take what you say as real. So this is going to be a classic example to where you really need to say marriage is not for me. Traditional marriage is not for me. And that's okay. It's okay, right? You don't want to try to contradict yourself by still going for it in order to appease anyone that's on the outside looking in. Selfless, kind, considerate, unwavering, patient, understanding. These are some characteristics that I wanted to call out that are needed when it comes to being in a marriage. And many of us are just not there. Many of us want what we want when we want it. You know, many of us are not patient with dealing with people who are not on the same page with us. Many of us know exactly what we want, and we know exactly who we don't want it from. Many of us are just not nice, kind people. That's just what it is, right? So you can't find yourself in a situation called marriage without these and many more characteristics that are going to be needed to weather the storm. You will have to become that person, and that person is not you right now. And being in a marriage will make you have to become that person. And many of us don't want to let go of the controls of the people that we are, because we like who we are right now. I don't want to be forced to change into someone I don't want to be right now. Well, if you feel anything like that, it means that at this particular point, marriage is just not for you. That transformation is going to have to be made. You know, in the scriptures that people love to quote, it speaks about when a man findeth a wife, he findeth a good thing. Okay? And everybody loves that verse, right? Or that part of that verse. But it says, findeth a wife, right? Number one is a wife is not just a woman. A woman, you know what I'm saying? A wife is not just a young girl, you know, or a woman that's at a point in her life to where she feel like she wants to have a companion, a lifetime companion. You can't just say you want a lifetime companion and then look for someone to walk down the aisle with, right? You have to become a wife. It also says a man. You feel what I'm saying? And when you think back to Genesis, when they say God basically created Adam, which was a man, you have to understand he was a man. And prior to Adam being brought Eve or created, or being basically having Eve created for him, he was told to get out there and work. He had to identify his purpose, and his purpose was basically, you know, naming everything in the garden. You know, he had a duty that he was doing. That's the reason why Eve came about, because he needed a helpmeet. In other words, a helpmate. He needed someone by his side to help him. You feel what I'm saying? So when you think about it, this is exactly what that scripture is saying. You have to first become a man, right? You have to at first, become a wife with those type of characteristics that I just called out, and then some, so that when that man findeth you, you're at that level. You're already tapping into those characteristics more so than being fresh out of the bar, fresh out of the club, fresh out of a relationship over here with a good time guy, or from a guy perspective, those same things, fresh out of just, dating and bopping around from relationship to relationship until you get tired of it. That's not the time to say, I think I need to get married. And it's okay to say, you know what, marriage ain't for me. It's okay to say that. But I know how people feel when they get a response to that. Their responses is not always cool, man. Their responses can be kind of brutal at times. Like, why? I mean, well, you're a woman. I mean, well, what you mean you don't want to get married? Or you're a guy, how old are you? 25, 30 years old? What you mean? What you waiting on? It's so much that come with that. And the only thing I do is I just ask why.
Lori Harvey just said the most depressing but factual fact ever, and it's that when you're not emotionally or romantically interested in anyone, the power that you have is literally yours and no one can affect it. Like, it doesn't matter what, I have nobody in my life right now. I'm fully okay with that. And there's literally nothing that anyone can say or do that could knock me off my emotional high. Like, I'm chilling, I'm happy, I'm working on my businesses, I'm working on my growth, I'm cool. Like, you can't come in here and balance me because I'm hella balanced. What is a man gonna do for me at this point? Nothing. And when am I ever gonna get out of this phase? Because I know eventually I'm gonna want to be in a relationship, but not right now.
I never wanted to be a husband. I'm gonna tell you right now, ladies, there's not a man in this room that wants to be a husband. No man woke up one day and was like, you know what? I'm tired of making my own decisions. I would like to be questioned all the time about everything I do. Why'd you park there? I don't know why you parked there. Why would you park there? I don't know why. Oh, I can't take it, man. I lose it. Fine! Tell me where to park, boss. Tell me where you're gonna park this car, please. Oh my God, you're mad. You have anger problems. No, I have wife problems. Because I park this car all the time by myself. I never get mad. I'm pretty sure it's you. I've never once parked my car and said, why did I park here? Why would I park here?
For those of you that's been following me for a while, I was the first one to come on a podcast and say, man, a lot of y'all need to be saying fuck marriage, man. And a lot of people took that as, they were confused, I would say. And the reason why is because anything about my history, I've always been about relationship empowerment. I've always been about providing the truth, lies, and the lessons, right? I've always been about that. So what would make this guy come out right now and say, as a happily married man, and a lot of y'all need to say fuck marriage, man, or fuck marriage. People thought I was saying it, but no, I was saying it like, no, I understand what it takes. And for so long, there's so many, it's like there's been a mockery made of it. Like it's so easy a caveman can do it. Everyone deserves this top-notch, great all-around husband. Every man deserves this submissive wife that does everything that he says. Everybody deserves it. It's all you got to do is just say you want it, And now that I want it, I need to have it because I deserve it. And I just really took offense to that because I know if you ask those people that are married out there, if you ask them, is marriage easy? You know, do you always get what you want? Are you 100% happy all the time? You know, do you have to be understanding? Do you have to develop great conflict resolution? You know what I'm saying? Is it easy? Nah, it ain't. You know, sometimes you don't even want to be around each other. But we get so googly-eyed at couples that have been together 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Because as soon as someone says, yeah, this is my husband and we've been together for 50 years, man, you get a standing ovation. But do you know what it takes to be with someone like that? Do you know that those characteristics that I just spoke about have to be there and then some? You can't be impatient. You know, you can't be inconsiderate. You can't be those things and still stick with someone, right? So you gotta understand, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta understand this, that marriage just may not be for you if you ain't ready for that. So I said, man, fuck marriage. Don't come over here with that. Man, fuck marriage. You need to get yourself together. Man, fuck marriage. You got the wrong perception of what it takes and what it is. Man, fuck marriage. Don't even come this way. So I said that out of respect. I said that out of just experience. And a lot of people got it. A lot of people wanted to, jump in the inbox and just create some dialogue around it. A lot of people was like, man, what is you talking about? We don't want to hear that, right? So I said to myself, man, you know what? It's okay if you want to feel that way, but I'm just protecting it. Because the more people that we funnel towards marriage, the more the perception of it is going to be tainted by the next generation to come. So imagine if you take someone that's just simply not ready for it, but they were told that they should just because they got a boyfriend or a girlfriend that has been with them for a while. They step into that arena and they start to do what I said at the beginning, change into a different person that they just don't like. They'll break up, they'll go through the divorce, and they'll blame marriage. They'll say, man, I ain't even cut out for that. Well, in actuality, you shouldn't have gone down that road. Imagine a interstate that's backed up with traffic. And you can see up there's one of those trucks that has an arrow on the back of it, forcing everyone to get off at the exit because it was a terrible accident. And it's just clogged. I know you can relate to this. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a great vision of what it's like with pop culture, social media, the church, everybody funneling everyone towards getting married. Some of us need to stay on that interstate and keep going straight instead of hitting that exit. And that's why I say, I have to create a space. I have to create a space for those that feel marriage just ain't for me. So let's talk about this space. The Marriage Ain't For Me podcast. I'm going to dedicate this time to my listeners out there to be able to provide interviews, excerpts, people sending me in how they feel, people talking about different reasons why they just don't want to get married, the marriage process itself, But it's not to tear down the structure, but preserve it. Preserve it for those that are in a space to where they're ready to step into that arena. Because that's what it is. It's an arena. It's a duty. And many people don't understand that that's what it is, a duty, and it gets dirty, right? It's only for those that's ready to stand 10 toes down in it. And if you just ain't ready for that, it ain't even about finding at the end of the day someone that you're willing to do that for. It has to be in you first. You know what I'm saying? Standing 10 toes down has to be in you. You have to have graduated to that level of being even able to do that before you find someone that makes you want to do it. You have to be able to do it. Right? So now, this podcast is going to be taking off, giving people that space. Right? Okay, the email address is still truthlieslessons@yahoo.com. Truthlieslessons@yahoo.com. And those that are following the page, Truth Lies Lessons, on Facebook or even myself, you got to make sure you send me some testimonials. Tell me why you're at the level you are at this particular point and how well it's working for you. Tell me how sick you are of just sick of hearing so much about what you need to do to keep a man so you can get to the altar, or you need to get to the altar. You're just so tired of people telling you, you know, to mature, grow up, get yourself together so you can pretty much get married and have a family. What if that's not what you want to do, right? The space that we're going to provide for you is going to be educational. And what we also going to do at times is we're going to challenge you on the way you feel sometimes. Because I'm not in the business of harboring excuses for people not wanting to step up. That's not what this is, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? That's not what this is. I want to have an adult conversation, an adult moment of truth around people just simply not being ready for marriage and not being ashamed of it. People thinking for themselves enough to not allow themselves to be forced into getting off at that exit up there that I was telling you about. So we want to keep it all the way real. So that's what this space is going to be about. We taking our time with it. We're going to put together some great content. You're going to see the TikTok videos. You're going to see a lot of the stuff being said out there about it. But guess what? It all starts on all of your podcast platforms. I'm making sure it's out there. It's going to be out there. This is just the first of many episodes to come. Make sure you tune in to Marriage Just Ain't For Me, the podcast, brought to you by The Truth, The Lies, and The Lessons. Remember, shoot me an email at truthlieslessons@yahoo.com and come on with this journey with me. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make it happen. All right. Salute. Stay focused. Stay pushing. Stay positive. Stay out of areas that you know that just ain't for you. Similar to that altar. It is what it is. Be peace out there, man. I'll see y'all soon. Yeah.